Hello, I'm Roger, and I'm here with Chip Dog, and we are coming to you from the high desert of central New Mexico. You are watching Multiple Sclerosis. The monster inside me, my story.
Okay, welcome back. Today is Wednesday, August 10th, and I am doing the show from home today. My last show we did on the road. We did that at the Sawtooth Mountains in west central New Mexico. Had a great time camping out with Matt and Ruben. If there's anything soothing for me is getting out into the outdoors and being in the wilderness, and that's where I'm at most peace with myself and with also those two guys that were with me. They're great company and always look after me, and which is not that I need some look after me, but that's the way kind of it is. And so I had a great time. We filmed some shows. I did a camp chat where Matt and I and Ruben sat around the campfire and just kind of talk a little bit about, where we're at. And it's just small campfire chat and don't get a whole lot of views, but it is a little bit interesting. We did that, and then we did that on a Sunday. So, okay, we're going to go step back a day, but on Saturday when we got there, I did the first half of my cooking show. I do an outdoor cooking adventures, and I did the first half of that because what I did needed to set into the cooler overnight and chill. So that's the way that worked. So then on Sunday, I set up the cameras and filmed 3 shows. And the first one was we filmed Camp Chat. And that's a show where I sat down with Matt and Ruben, which is small campfire chat, talking about where we're at and what these guys are doing. They both have huge YouTube channels, so I was very thankful to have them on the show because they have a lot of subscribers and they're definitely worth looking at. And Ruben is the Manzano Man, and Matt is the Southwest Backpacker on YouTube. And if you go to either one of those, they're huge on YouTube and do all kinds of cool stuff. I was fortunate to have them with me, and so we did a show. And then when they were done, I kept the cameras rolling and sat down and did a show of MS, the monster inside me, my story. And it was really cool. I love doing that kind of stuff in the background in the wilderness like that. It was just a great environment. And then about an hour after we picked up the cameras, we were kind of just standing around, just enjoying the view. We had a heck of a rainstorm that moved in. And I'm going to show you a picture here of some of the rain. And then I'll show you a picture of the mountains back up behind us that our camp is kind of nestled up against. And then I'll show you a picture, and this one I'll show you a little more close up. It's we had 2 inches of rain, and then after 2 inches of rain, we had another 3 inches of hail. I'm talking marble-sized hail, along with more rain. So when it was all said and done, and we measured it out, we had 2.5 inches of rain, and enough hail to cover the ground. It was a crazy weekend. But I'll show you a picture. I want to show you a picture here of the group I'm with, and this is Ruben and Matt and myself in front of the Sawtooth Mountain sign. Kind of a cool picture. And then this is a picture of the mountains that we kind of camped up next to. Now the crazy thing, after all that rain, the amount of boulders and rocks that we heard come tumbling down the mountain behind us was really fascinating. Now we weren't close enough to be in any kind of danger, but you could hear the rocks taking out trees and other stuff on the way down. 2.5 inches of rain in the mountains, in the desert, is a lot. It does damage beyond belief, and we had crazy water running through our camp, and so I had decided that I didn't really want to finish cooking because my kitchen was swamped, and so I had mentioned to Matt and Ruben I wasn't really sure about cooking, and they both insisted, after watching me put it together the day before and how good it looked, they insisted that I go ahead and finish cooking dinner. And so I did, and I made green chili bacon cheeseburgers, New Mexico style, and they came out really good. I had to change my heat source and change a bunch of things up just to make it through the cook, but it went out well, and went well. And so if you're curious about how I did that, go there and check that out. I have some interesting news. It's been a 1-year appointment with my neurosurgeon since I had my brain surgery, and so once a year I'm going to be taking an MRI and be looked at. And I had my appointment with the neurosurgeon a couple weeks ago, and it was good news. Thumbs up. My tumor hasn't grown. It's still embedded in my optic lobe, where it was, but it hasn't grown, so that's all I can ask for. It bugs me a little bit. I think I've kind of tried to learn to live with it a little bit. Gives me a little bit of imbalance. It's in my optic lobe, and so it kind of messes with my balance and everything, but I can deal with it. So I'm thirsty. I'm going to take a quick drink. Another couple of things I wanted to talk about is 3 weeks ago or so, when my niece was in town. She's in the Navy, so she was in town, and we had a little get-together on a Friday night for her. And thank you for her service, and I know she'll see this. But a friend of hers, whose boyfriend and I had struck up a conversation, and the conversation of MS came up. And he mentioned that his father had MS, and that caught my curiosity and my interest. And I gave him my phone number and asked him to have his father call me. And the next day, Kurt called me, and I was happy to hear from Kurt. I've not met him face to face. We've talked on the phone a few times. We've texted a few times together. But I'm looking forward to meeting him, and that'll be another person here in the local area that I have met with that has MS, has the monster. My friend Amy, and I know she's a good friend of mine. I enjoy talking to her. We share chats and stuff. But and I'll get to that here in a second. But I'm gonna have a new appointment, and I get to meet my new neurologist August 27th. So I'm a couple of weeks out, and I'm excited because I'm not taking any medication for my MS. I started out, if you watch the show back, I started out taking Tecfidera, and I just couldn't take it. It just wasn't worth the misery that crazy heavyweight drug put me through. And so, I told my neurosurgeon that I couldn't take it anymore, and he didn't really have anything to say about it. I don't have a neurologist yet. We'll have one coming up here soon, and so hopefully we'll find something that I can start taking. Yesterday I made it down to renew my medical cannabis card, which is something important to me, and I always want to make sure to stay on top of that. It doesn't expire for another 3.5 weeks, but I want to stay on top of that and get that done. Now, it cost me $60, and I went ahead and had them go ahead and just send it to the state for me. That way I didn't have to envelope it and take it to the post office or whatever, and do that. So they did that for me. It cost me $60, and so it'll be worth a couple years. And I guess the benefits of this medical card is I don't have to pay taxes on it. I get a little better deal on the supplies that are out there. So that's why I did it, and it all worked out good. There's no question on my issues on why I should not have a medical card. Okay, we all know that. So then the next thing I wanted to talk a little bit about was back to my friend Amy. And Amy has put a lot of work into setting up some video Zoom chats and conferences so we can just talk. And it's really cool that she's done this. And I've attended a couple of them. The first one that she set up, I completely forgot. And I felt horrible about that. So I made it a point to not miss any more. And so we've had 2 or 3. We had another one yesterday. And we have a couple other people that are interested in being in these video chats, but they were just unable to attend yesterday's. And so Amy and I had a good chat, and I enjoy speaking with her. And I just want to thank her for her efforts and for putting it together. And I'm all in. And even if it's just her and I'm good to go with that. And I know the others are interested, and they've got lives to lead, and I get that. So I think the next thing I want to talk about, and I like to talk about, I have a topic that I want to discuss, that a lot of us MSers are dealing with. And this one hit me particularly hard night before last night. Now, I woke up probably about 2:30, 3 in the morning, and I was hot. My room was hot. I was hot. My pillow was wet from me sweating, and I'm not one to have anxiety issues, but something was going on. And I got up, and I just couldn't, I couldn't figure out what I needed to do. I went outside for a second, and I came back in, tried to let back down. I couldn't do it. And so I ended up getting up and going outside and sitting on the front porch in my boxers at about 3:15 in the morning till about 5. and it was nice and cool. And I live, my yard is a little bit of a rural area, so I can sit on my front porch in my boxers, and there's no one around to see what I'm doing. And so I sat there for almost till 5 in the morning. I managed to cool down enough, so I went in and went back to bed and laid down, and I had to get up fairly early in the morning so I could go see my medical cannabis doctor, so I could get that taken care of. So I didn't get much sleep, so I was really dragging. I slept hard last night, and I'm still a little bit tired from that. But this is going to lead into my topic now, and that's how heat affects those of us with MS. And I really learned a little bit. And I'm going to kind of read through this now. All this you can find online, on the internet, through Google. Simple searches are MS and heat tolerances, and you'll get a million things. But so I printed one up, and I'm going to read it out real quick, and I might skip over a few things. I've gone through it once, but it's all very interesting information. I just want to do this because this was an issue with me the other night, and it took me a couple of hours sitting outside under the stars in my boxers, just trying to cool off, and it took a bit. It was frustrating because I knew I needed to get some sleep. And, it's frustrating when you should be sleeping. You're sitting outside under the stars looking up going, gosh, I'm not supposed to be here. So I'm going to read some of this to you. And many people with multiple sclerosis are sensitive to heat and changes in body temperatures. For a person with MS, even a quarter or a half degree change in core body temperature can temporarily trigger symptoms. Okay, something to think about. Environments that might make not us think twice about, a humid backyard, a stuffy room, or a hot shower can make MS symptoms worse. And this condition is called Ustaf's phenomenon. And the connection between heat and MS symptom flare-ups is so well established that before the invention of the MRIs, doctors used to submerge people they believed to have MS in hot baths. Crazy. If the person's neurological symptoms suddenly flared, the physician would assume their diagnosis was correct. And that's crazy. They used to dunk you in hot water to see if you flared up, and if you did, then you had MS. That's insane. I'm going to take a quick drink. Okay, so moving on. Thankfully, tests like those are unnecessary today. Yeah. What's more, people with MS can avoid complications and risks of heat sensitivity, and a lot of that just comes with common sense and knowing your environment, and it requires some planning and preparation. And I was talking about the rainstorm that we had, that I did my cooking show in last about a month ago. I got wet and I got cold. And even standing underneath a canopy with 2.5 inches of rain and hail, there was mist and water everywhere. And I think that flared me up because I got cold. It was an hour or so before I made it back to my tent to put on dry clothes. And once I got dry clothes on, it was all good. But I think that started something off for me. Thankfully, tests like those are unnecessary today. And what's more, people with MS can avoid complications and risks of heat sensitivity. It just requires some planning and preparation and common sense. Why heat makes MS symptoms worse. In people with MS, the body's defenders, white blood cells, attacks the central nervous system, causing inflammation and stripping the nerves of their protective coating, and that's the myelin. This process is known as demyelin, leaves the nerves vulnerable and reduces their ability to transmit electrical signals to the brain. Research indicates that when a person with MS experiences an uptick in core temperature, neutral conduction, and that's the passing of messages along the nerve fiber, slows down, or in some cases is blocked entirely. The severity of symptom flares up depends on the extent of the person's demyelination and how drastically their core temperature is changed, and how heat affects people with MS. multiple sclerosis can negatively affect a person's ability to maintain a healthy body temperature. If a person develops a lesion in an area of the brain that regulates core temperature or cooling responses, such as sweating or circulation, they may not be able to adjust to a warmer climate. Back to everyone's condition of MS is different, and if you have lesions in this area that controls your body temperature and your heating and your sweating, that's an issue in that. So okay, so here we go. The heat intolerance or enlightened or heightened sensitivity to heat is very common among people with MS. This condition affects people between 60 and 80% of people with MS. That's a lot. These individuals may experience pseudo-exasperation, which is a flare-up, temporary symptom flare, if their body core temperature rises. Warm environments can trigger a temporary worsening of symptoms. And I was sleeping in a warm, stuffy room. For some reason, my air conditioner just wasn't making it to my room that night. Symptoms, worsening of symptoms, and can exercise and fevers caused by illness or infection. Heat-triggered symptoms are temporarily and typically fade once a person's temperature returns to normal. And it took me 2 hours sitting outside on the front porch. You know what, there's a whole nother page here, and I'm not going to read through this because I think I got the point across, is that heat and cool will affect those of us with MS, and being aware of your surroundings. And we all know that we all look for triggers and what causes symptom flare-ups and exacerbations. And for me, that the other night, it was a warm, stuffy bedroom, and man, it affected me. And back to, I was outside for a couple hours, and there's a couple things you can do to try to deal with the issues. You can drink cold beverages, ice cubes, popsicles. You can take a cool shower or bath. Mist yourself with ice water. Eating cool dessert or light meals. If you opt for cooling, a shower or a bath, be sure not to shock your system with water that's too cold, because that's also not good. Start with lukewarm water, and then slowly reduce the temperature and cool it down to where it's comfortable for you, and then turn it off, and hopefully that'll get your body temperature back to where it needs to be. For me, I was not getting in the shower at 3 o'clock in the morning. Sorry, I was just not going to do that. So there's a few other things here. I'm going to take a quick drink here. But if you go to Google and Google up heat and MS sensitivity, you will get a ton of stuff to look at. So this is just a small bit, something to think about. I only wanted to bring it up because it really had an effect with me the other night. So we're going to close this up, and that was miserable, and it's going to take a couple. I don't think I ever catch up on my sleep, but I'm going to try to do that tonight. It's been tough. I was all excited yesterday. When I talked about this, I got my medical card renew application in the mail, and my card doesn't expire for another 3 weeks, so I'll be good to go. I'm looking forward to getting that back to me, and it cost me a little bit, and I was asked why I do that, because we've gone commercial here in New Mexico as far as recreational cannabis is concerned, and I do get a little better deal, and I don't get charged taxes, and so for those reasons I go ahead and get my card, and that way I can be counted as as something that, or as part of the numbers that they're using the medical cannabis, which I think is very helpful to me. And I had a talk with the doc yesterday, and because of brain issues that I have, and I'm dealing with brain issues. I have a tumor that's grown into my optic lobe, and there's no denying it. It's there, and and I told her that it helps me relax at night, and that's good enough for her. So I think I'm going to call today's show a good one. I want to thank you all for watching. I want to give a shout out to all my MS Warrior friends. I appreciate you watching, checking in, and if you have any questions or comments, please leave them down below. I want to give a shout out to my friend Kurt. Now, I've never met Kurt. I just mentioned him a little bit ago, that we've had a chance to talk a little bit, and so I'm looking forward to meeting him. He's probably watched the show. I don't know if he's watched the show. He still works, which is good for him. I'm excited. I wish I could still work. So he's still got stuff going on. So I'm looking forward to getting a chance to meeting him. And I will say one more thing is, and Kurt has expressed interest on being on the show, which I'd like to have him. And Kurt is in a wheelchair, and he's a retired local police officer from our area. And I know he and I have crossed paths at one time or another, with me working at the schools and him doing what he did for Rio Rancho Police Department. And so I know we had crossed paths at one point or another. So I'm looking forward to meeting him. Too bad it's not under better circumstances, but we've had a chance to text a little bit. So I want to give a shout out to Kurt, and I want to give a shout out to my friend Amy, who I spoke to just yesterday during the video conference. There's 4 or 5 of us, I think, that are ready to be involved in that conference, but for the last 3 times it's just been Amy and I. And I enjoy speaking to Amy, and we do have a lot in common. She's in a wheelchair also, and but she's super affected by the monster, and so her and I have a lot to talk about. And I think Amy watches the show, so I want to say a shout out to Amy, and I want to give a shout out to my friend Kenneth, which I pretty much do every show. Kenneth is on the East Coast. I've never met Kenneth, but we've talked on the phone. We text quite a bit. He and I have NASCAR racing in common. We're both super fans, and so we text a lot on Sundays during race time, which is really cool. I had someone to share that fun with. So I want to give a shout out to Kenneth, and I think that we'll call it a show for today. Please subscribe if you're not a subscriber. Give us a thumbs up if you like what you see, and please leave comments down below if you have anything, questions, comments you want to say about MS. I'm always willing to take them on and respond the best I can. So I want to thank you all again for watching, and look forward to the next show. I'm going to be going out of town at the end of September, but I will probably have a show on before then. Hopefully I'm going to do a show. I know where it's going to be at. I'm going to do a show from the Santa Fe National Forest on a place called Golondrina Mesa, and that's where I'm going to be going with my friend Matt, the Southwest Backpacker, my buddy, my gaming buddy, camping buddy, and also my buddy James Blackburn. And he's another camping buddy, gaming buddy, and all around good friend. And call both of those guys my brothers. And I think we're going to go camping on Labor Day weekend. And so we're going to do our next show from there, probably. I'm looking forward to it. That's a beautiful area. All right. Until then, I want to say thank you for watching.